Now on CoastTV News.
Lifeguards on duty throughout this holiday weekend full of heat. What to expect going forward. A Maryland boat explosion, the scary scene that left 9 people injured. Red, white, and blue all around which 4th of July events are and are not impacted by the weather.
Tonight's plethora of severe storms have caused some damage in various areas throughout the Delmarva Peninsula. We're going to update you on that, and we have some more advisories to tell you about, so be sure you stick around.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
A live look out there into Rehoboth Beach after a severe thunderstorm watch is now over. Good evening and welcome to CoastTV News at 11. I'm Emma Aiken. We begin tonight with this wild weekend of weather. As we take a live look out there into Dover, things a bit calmer now. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has been tracking the storms all night. Let's check in with him now. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you, Emma. The record-breaking heat helped to spawn the storm that caused the damage that we've been tracking tonight. As of late, we're still at least in the slight category, but our threat of severe weather has lessened tremendously. This is the latest look, at least 1, 2, 3, 4 different areas where we've actually picked up on some damage that's been reported. Over towards the Cambridge area, we have multiple trees and power lines down in the Cambridge area. That was reported at 8:07. Then over towards Brookview, reported trees and power lines were reported knocked down across the northern half of Dorchester County. That's actually northeast of Rhodesdale. Then to the south, we go to Vienna, where we had numerous trees and power lines were reported down across south central Dorchester. That was reported at 9:50. And then another location right here, all right, Fruitland. Severe thunderstorm wind damage, multiple down power lines near Fruitland. These were straight line winds, not tornadic winds. Now, that's why we say be mindful of the severity of these storms when they were moving. It was really pacing at about 65 miles per hour, tracking towards the east. We still have some leftover scattered showers in Milton, Ocean View. And then we have actually the marine warning, basically a severe thunderstorm over the water. That's just part of it. Now, we also have within this area additional heat advisories, and now we have concerns, believe it or not, of air quality. We'll get into all this coming up in our main weather segment, but for right now, the storms have subsided a bit for us, Emma, and we should start beginning to collectively catch our breath, at least within the next 25 to 30 minutes.
All right, Paul, thank you for that. And we know we have this heat still going on. Ocean City's beach patrol is taking a closer look across the sand. Lifeguards are staying hydrated, taking shade when they can, also wearing long sleeve sun protection shirts. They're ready to respond while reminding beachgoers to stay safe themselves.
They're going through the crowds, doing their runs. If they see things, they remind people of safe practices and just staying safe. And that's why we need to keep them on the stands and healthy so they can be healthy to help other people.
Arbin says OC lifeguards get skin cancer screenings with dermatologists quite often to stay safe throughout the summer. And there's more to the heat wave than just heat and humidity. The UV index at times over these days has been up to a 10, very high, making folks more inclined to get sunburn.
If you're outside, if you're at the beach, make sure you're reapplying the sunscreen pretty frequently. It's going to wash off in the ocean, even if they say it won't, and it's also going to wash off as you sweat.
Okay. Dr. Brownstein suggests using at least 50 SPF sunscreen when going outside this weekend. And it's not just humans. Pet owners are being urged to take extra precautions to keep their animals safe. Humane animal partner experts say pets can suffer heat stroke in just minutes, so make sure they have plenty of fresh water, shade, and a cool place to rest. Avoid walking dogs during the hottest part of the day, and never leave a pet inside a parked car where temperatures can quickly turn deadly. They also mentioned pavement is really hot on their paw pads. Here's the key. If you put the back of your hand on the pavement and it's too hot for you, it's hot for them. One pet owner we spoke with says she's limiting time outdoors for her dog.
One of the big things, hydration, making sure, and if your pet is outside, make sure they have a shade spot, make sure they have plenty of water, and try and keep them out there as minimal time as possible. And always be cognizant that, as I said, we wear shoes, and when we're at the beach, we might like the hot sand, but that hot sand is 10 times as hot on the dog's paws, and it can burn them. So you want to really be careful how much you walk your dog.
Half experts say if you are taking your pets outside, the best time to do it is early in the morning or late at night. Dewey Beach police say a Dover man is facing multiple felony charges after a domestic-related stabbing Friday night on Reed Avenue. Police say a 37-year-old Clayton man was stabbed multiple times during a fight and was taken to the hospital in stable condition. Investigators say the accused stabber, 37-year-old Samuel Coker from Dover, who you see here, was arrested after receiving treatment for his own injuries. Police say there is no ongoing threat to the public. We do have more details about this stabbing that happened in Dewey Beach right now on CoastTV.com. A two-car crash in Frankfurt early Friday morning sent one person to the hospital after crews had to free them from a rolled-over car. First responders say the crash happened just after 3:20 on Route 113 south of Lazy Lagoon Road. The Selbyville Volunteer Fire Company says a mass casualty incident was declared as crews evaluated several people, but only one patient was taken to the hospital. 9 people were injured after a boat exploded this afternoon at Schaefer's Canal House in Chesapeake City, according to the Office of the Maryland State Fire Marshal. Officials say 7 people were on the boat and 2 others were on a nearby dock. 4 patients were flown to hospitals while the others were taken by ambulance. The cause of the explosion remains under investigation. Well, today is the 4th of July, and it's not just any Independence Day, it's America's 250th birthday. Here's some photos of folks in Fenwick Island who braved the heat for the town's first annual 4th of July By the People, For the People parade. Some awesome pictures there. And here's some video from the Doodah Parade in Lewis. The annual parade started at 5, but it was shortened this year to 45 minutes. That's due to the dangerous heat. Still though, looks very festive. Looks like people had a good time out there celebrating the 4th. Rehoboth Beach will celebrate America's 250th birthday with its annual fireworks display tomorrow night. The show is scheduled to begin around 9:30 off Brooklyn Avenue and will be visible from both the beach and the boardwalk. The Funsters will perform at the bandstand before the fireworks at 8 p.m. and also again after the show. The city says weather could potentially require launching the fireworks early or late. If you were planning to attend the America 250 picnic at Poplar Hill Mansion in Salisbury tomorrow, you'll have to wait another week. The city says the event has been postponed until Sunday, July 12th because of high temperatures and an unexpected air conditioning issue inside the mansion. The event will now take place from 1 to 4 p.m. next Sunday. With the weather not quite cooperating tonight, the city of Cambridge has postponed their fireworks to tomorrow night at dusk. It's not just here on Delmarva. Multiple events across the U.S. have been canceled or delayed due to the excessive heat wave. July 4th marks the 3rd day in a row for triple-digit temperature forecasts in many major cities, including our nation's capital. Michael Yoshida is in Washington, D.C. with details on how the weather is impacting Saturday's big celebrations.
America's 250th birthday celebrations are coinciding with one of the worst heat waves in years on the East Coast. In Washington, D.C., the opening of the Great American State Fair was postponed by 2 hours Saturday. Friday, it had to temporarily shut down due to the heat.
We were told that they were closing it down due to the heat. A lot of people were passing out.
Millions of spectators are expected in Washington, D.C. as the city prepares for monumental celebrations this year. Because of the dangerous heat, extra emergency personnel will be on hand to help.
4th of July is typically our busiest day of the year, where we run 500 to 600 calls a day. I think we're going to be over 1,000 this weekend.
In Philadelphia, the big semi-quincentennial parade was canceled as actual temperatures reached over 100 degrees Friday.
I'm disappointed, but I do understand that, it's a safety thing.
The dangerous heat wave triggering power outages in the New York metro area. At one point, over 17,000 people were without power, according to local utility company Con Edison. People were lining up to get ice.
We got a bunch of meat to cook and barbecue. Now it's all going to go bad.
The heat is also causing unhealthy air quality in some cities. On top of that, the extended fireworks displays will likely only make the air quality worse. In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
All of this brings us to our Coast TV poll tonight. We want to know, what is your favorite July 4th tradition? Let's take a look at the updated results from the last news hour. All right, 49% are saying barbecues, with 33% saying fireworks, 10% say traveling, and 8% say community celebrations. If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttv.com or on the mobile app. We are just getting started here on Coast TV News at 11. Coming up later, fireworks during the holiday weekend, 8 tips for how to stay safe while celebrating.
We're to update you on the latest damage caused by tonight's severe storms, and believe it or not, even with the rain, we still have concerns for more heat tomorrow.
But first, from erosion solutions to holiday traffic, it was a busy week here on Delmarva. We have a recap of the week when we're back in just 60 seconds. From a firefighter background check bill to a heat wave across Delmarva, there was a lot going on this week here on the coast. Charlie Sakaitis has a look at our week in review.
Monday, legislators considered a new bill in Delaware that will strengthen criminal background checks for volunteer firefighters. Previously, while firefighters did face statewide background checks, they could not track out-of-state criminal activity. Senate Bill 325 closes that loophole. Tuesday, the Army Corps of Engineers wants to repair a stretch of land near Slaughter Beach. It's faced significant erosion for hundreds of years. This is an area north of the Maspillian Inlet near DuPont Nature Center. The Army Corps wants to build a berm to help protect the area. Wednesday, the heat started to hit the coast. High temperatures, high humidity, and a high UV index causing a number of events to be canceled or postponed throughout the holiday weekend. Thursday in Ocean City, lifeguards doing their best to protect the public and protect themselves from the hot sun. Lifeguard crews staying hydrated, taking shade when they could, even wearing long-sleeved sun protection shirts while on patrol. And Friday, lots of traffic as everybody was looking to hit the coast and maybe cool down in the ocean throughout the weekend. DelDOT expects a whole lot of traffic and a lot of people opting out of driving by taking the buses to get around. For your Week in Review, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
Coming up next, Paul Williams is in the Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. He has your full forecast after this.
The immediate threat of severe storms over, but even with all this rain, we still have a excessive heat problem, which I'll get to in a moment. Lewis, we're at 80 degrees right now, dropping to 73 by 2 o'clock with the rain coming to an end. We initially were in the combination of enhanced and slight threat of storms, but now we've been downgraded to just slight throughout the entire Delmarva Peninsula. Limited rain, to be quite honest, with the exception of Cambridge, where they actually clocked up just over a half an inch of rain as far as the volume of rain is concerned. A couple of other areas, according to the Delaware Environmental Observation Station, we had just about a third of an inch of rain for us in Laurel, or just shy of a quarter of an inch in Dover, and then a tenth and just slightly below that in Harbison, Rehoboth, down towards Seaford, as well as Jones Crossroads. We still have an active marine statement, which is basically a severe thunderstorm warning over the water as the storms move away from us. Those cells are moving away from us. Here's a look at the Delmarva Peninsula. We still have some lingering light showers. It's tracking to the east pretty steadily at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. Now, we've had some damage. Actually, that damage just popped up a few moments ago. We'll take a look at that here towards the end. But what we've already prepared for to kind of show you, thunderstorm damage over towards Cambridge. Multiple trees down, lines down, it was at 8:07. Then at about 9:50 in Brookview, we had some down lines there. Had reports of some minor damage in Vienna with numerous trees down and power lines. Then towards Fruitland, we had some multiple power lines down there, and that was reported at about 10:10. All that being said, we're seeing the rain come to an end. Now this is interesting. Despite the rain we received, we have a newly issued heat advisory, not warning, but advisory still in effect. So we're still expecting triple-digit heat for Sunday. That combined with an interesting situation. Air quality alert has been issued near our region, and we've been kind of tracking this anyway. So let's go ahead and take a look at the latest rendition of what's happening with our air quality concern. We're in the yellow for the most part, a couple of little orange dots, so we're not at the unhealthy level, but we're going to need that rain helped us out a little bit. We're going to keep a close eye on that air quality. For the rest of the night, we may see a few lingering sprinkles going into Sunday morning, so that should be about it. We had a monster of the last 3 days dealing with that heat. We had 102 for the high today, which broke the record of 100 on this date, set in 1966. We had 102 in Georgetown, as well as Salisbury, 101 for the high in Dover, and 100 in Easton, as well as Cambridge. Extreme heat was the name of the game for today. 103 in Ellendale, 102 in Milford, 101, for example, in Greenwood. But now we've settled down to some semblance of sanity. Temperatures in the 70s right now. For Sunday, we're going to be much cooler for the coast, particularly for the beaches. Winds are out of the south. However, temps will hover in the upper 80s to low 90s. 91, for example, in Dewey Beach. Sunday, we're looking at 8 o'clock, pretty clear. Sunday afternoon, not a problem. Winds out of the south. It gets interesting on Monday. We start off cloudy. Watch this. By 1 o'clock, we're looking at a strong line of storms to push through yet again. And then by 3 o'clock, we're looking at this. If this comes in at 3 o'clock, 3:30 on Monday, we're back to talking about severe storms, if not possible. Well, let's just worry about that when and if it happens. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll continue to keep you updated.
All right, Paul, thank you. And this extreme heat is affecting more than just people. Livestock are facing challenges as well. Southern Delaware Therapeutic Riding says they're closely monitoring their horses and making changes.
We just keep all our fans on. Each stall has a fan, as well as we have 2 large fans that create cool air that blow from each end of the barn. And so it creates a nice cooling breeze for them. And then we just make sure that they have plenty of water.
Boyer says they are canceling some of the riding classes because of this heat, and most of their riders are more sensitive to the heat, especially their older horses. If you're planning to shoot off fireworks this weekend, experts are urging you to be careful. Mishandling even seemingly minor fireworks like sparklers can quickly turn fun festivities into a tragedy. In this Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the most common injuries seen this time of year and how to stay safe.
It's one of the most popular pastimes to honor the red, white, and blue. But if you're planning to light up the sky on your own, beware.
Every year I see injuries that really change people's lives from 4th of July.
Dr. Min Nguyen is an orthopedic hand surgeon at Orlando Health. He says blast injuries are common around the July 4th weekend and usually involve severe burns.
Most of them will have amputations at different levels, including from the fingers or even the whole hand and arm. I've needed to do that as well. So they can be extremely dangerous.
Last year alone, there were 15 reported firework-related deaths and around 13,000 injuries. 1,300 of those people were hurt by sparklers.
Sparklers burn at 1,200 degrees, which can even melt metal. So all of these injuries, they happen in a split second.
If you choose to light your own fireworks, officials say to never allow children to play with or ignite them. That includes sparklers. Make sure fireworks are legal in your area before using them and that they're labeled for consumer, not professional use. Keep a bucket of water or hose handy in case there's a problem. Light fireworks one at a time, then move back quickly. Never try to relight or pick up fireworks that haven't fully ignited, and never use fireworks while under the influence of alcohol or drugs.
I would leave it to the professionals, really.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission says to also follow all instructions and warnings on the fireworks and to never hold them in your hand unless the instructions specifically say to do so. You can also check out their latest list of firework-related recalls and get more safety tips by visiting cpsc.gov. Coming up next, from county council to the White House, Joe Biden's political career spanned more than 5 decades. We look back at the life of Delaware's first president.
America 250 on Delmarva, brought to you by Tidal Health Inc.
233 years after it became the first state to ratify the Constitution, the first person from Delaware was elected President of the U.S. Joe Biden brought global attention to the state and Rehoboth Beach area. Joe Biden's long career as a political figure began just prior to his 28th birthday, when he was elected to the Newcastle County Council. 2 years later, he was headed to the U.S. Senate, where he represented Delaware for 36 years. Due to Washington's proximity to Delaware, Biden famously commuted by train on a regular basis. His experience in the Senate led Barack Obama to tap Biden as vice president in a historic two-term administration. In November 2020, Biden was elected the 46th president of the United States, the first Delawarean to hold the highest office in the land. Biden had to guide the nation through an unprecedented global pandemic and shape America's and NATO's response to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. During his term, the White House was his temporary home, but he was a regular at his Delaware house in North Shores. Time away from the intensity of Washington, D.C. meant some R&R on the beach. He served the public for a half a century, and for over 70 years, Joe Biden has called Delaware home.
At the Tidal Health Family Medicine Residency Clinic in Salisbury, our dedicated team supports your family through every milestone in one accessible location. We provide comprehensive services including newborn care, routine checkups, illness visits, immunizations, and sports physicals. By combining a welcoming atmosphere with flexible scheduling and a team you can trust, we simplify healthcare for today's busy families. For more information, visit tidalhealth.org/yourfamily.
Right now, we still have a reactivated heat advisory for our area. That stays in effect for Sunday. We did pick up on one more damage report in Selbyville. Report of wires down at the intersection of Cypress and Cemetery Road. That was about 10:20. That just came in while we were on with the newscast. Just wanted to pass that along to you. But we have the last remnants of the scattered showers breaking up pretty quickly. Keep up with the forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Rendalis, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Listen, tomorrow we're not under we're excessive heat warning, but we are under a heat advisory. So still expect for the heat index to climb to 100 to 105 for tomorrow. So you still need to stay hydrated. And let's be mindful of what could possibly happen on Monday. We could see another round of very strong thunderstorms rumbling through our area.
Thank you, Paul. And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Saturday Night Live starts right now. Have a great night.